I made a lucky shot and bagged my first ruffed grouse when I was 12 years old. It was an event that would shape the rest of my outdoor life. I can still remember that first grouse, holding it in my hands, marveling at the exquisite natural beauty of its uniquely colored and intricately patterned feathers. It became clear to me that autumn day in the northeast woods, almost 40 years ago, why the ruffed grouse is referred to as the king of upland game birds. A tuft of feathers, rising up from its head and sloping rearward, formed a crown. Deep black feathers ruffed up around its neck, the feathers that earned this bird its name, formed a collar, while subtly marked feathers descended over its back and ended in a grand fantail, spread wide and marked with a rich black band near the feather tips, thus giving the impression of a grand cloak fit for a king. All I have of that bird is a vague memory that regrettably fades a wee bit with the passing of each year. I haven't a photograph or a single feather from that grouse to help me preserve the memory as vivid as it should be. I wish I'd known then how to preserve that fabulous fantail. A ruffed grouse fantail is much too beautiful to simply discard, and each one makes for a wonderful trophy to display in your home or office. They make excellent gifts for hunting pals to commemorate a hunt, a friendship, or just to pay tribute to a noble game bird. Here is how I do it. You'll need a good pair of game shears, a box of push pins, a box of 20 Mule Team borax, and a piece of stiff cardboard or foam board upon which to mount the fantail during the drying process. The whole job takes about 10 minutes, and it's quite easy to do. Start by carefully cutting the fantail off the bird. It's easier to work with a freshly killed bird with the game shears. Turn the bird on its back and cut the fantail off just below the vent and carefully trim off any excess flesh. Then start pinning the fantail to the board by first anchoring the tail at the base. Next, spread the fantail out up to as much as 180 degrees, much like the ruffed grouse does when he is displaying his fantail, and place pushpins near the quill of each feather to make the fantail lie flat. Make sure the feathers are distributed evenly and without gaps between them. Finally, put some borax on the fleshy part at the base of the fantail to dry and further preserve your trophy. In a couple of weeks, you can remove the fantail from the board and display your ruffed grouse fantail whichever way you choose. Something I've thought of, but haven't gotten around to doing yet, is to have a fine art framing shop, create a shadow box with a ruffed grouse fantail, a photo of my pointing dog and me, and maybe even a fired shot shell hull and a colourful autumn leaf from the forest floor. It's a perfect way to bring back memories of the fall bird hunting season on those dark, cold winter nights. Of course, you could save the entire bird and take it to a taxidermist to have a full-body mount created. I've got mounts of several game birds in my home office and den, and they certainly bring me considerable enjoyment. Either way, the king of upland game birds is not only the finest sporting and eating of all the grouse, but he is the most beautiful too, and makes for a great trophy that will preserve those upland memories for a lifetime, caring for your trophy grouse in the field. Handle the bird carefully when you pick it up from the ground. Give the gun dog a break and you do the retrieving on exceptional birds. Smooth feathers carefully and don't get any blood on those feathers. Always put cotton or tissue down the throat to keep blood contained. Carry the bird from the woods holding it by one leg instead of squashing it into the back of your game vest. Put the bird into a paper bag, never plastic, or better yet into one leg of a pair of pantyhose. I can understand the male hunters being reluctant to carry pantyhose in a game vest, so maybe the paper bag is the best way to go. Keep the bird cool and get it to the taxidermist as soon as possible. If it's going to be a while before you can get it to the taxidermist, freeze the bird in the paper bag. Republished with permission from Preserving Upland Memories by James M. McCann, 2001, The Upland Almanac, Autumn 2001. 2001 by James M. McCann.